Okay, and we'll just go out from there, right? We'll get the.
As long as we hit the games of the week and
Online songs.
stick, carrot.
That's it.
We just did one.
Alright, so once we'll just open, we'll get right into the games of the week.
Yeah. Billy's call. Billy's last call.
Billy's calling in how long, he said? 7 minutes from right now, right? So we'll be ready
I
for
tried to
that.
get Gary on the phone too, but Gary wasn't there.
Gary's in the Carolina, Texas driver through the night.
He's got a
Alright, man.
mail call or something.
Oh yeah, we'll be guys from time to time, I guess. But I guess if you want to get it started, I guess
Let's do
this
it.
is probably just as good a time as any. Welcome to the Logjam. Week 4 is in the books. Darren, how you feeling?
It's been weird. It's like it's been a great 4 weeks, but at the same time, I'm not sure how this is going to work out moving forward. There's a lot of questions going on right now as far as
Who's
the
where?
virus and whether how this could work out for all of us. And
Some question marks at the end of this week with that Titans-Bills game. Are they going to play it? Are you going to chance it? But right now in the standings, the Zorros have taken a commanding lead, sitting alone in first place at 4-0.
Yep.
Yourself and the Scoregasm sitting there tied for second. He's got the tiebreaker that's going to get him into the playoffs if they were in today.
And then Sin Daddy, Fury, and the Avengers. Everybody's there.
Logjam from 4 to 7, 8, and then coming up at the end, the Mercy and the Young down there winless, which is tough
right now they are winless. Right now.
Right now they have 0 wins, so that's not awesome for them. But I don't think it's necessarily too early. I think each of those teams has a shot. I mean, Mercy has more points than the 2 teams directly above him. I don't think he's necessarily out of that game for sure.
Well, I don't know that he's necessarily out of it. I think at this point, Young and Confused feels like, maybe it's time to look toward the future.
Yeah.
But you look at what Merci Buku is doing as far as trading assets like Dalvin Cook. I mean, so he obviously feels that way, that maybe it is time for him to pull the plug or for him to start getting value for things on his roster because he's not feeling that this is going to be his year.
He is feeling that. Before we get into more about the trades in this week, we're going to see if we can't get the third member of the Logjam team.
Yeah.
See if Billy McAllister might be able to join us from Gilbert, Arizona. So you can try to click that, see if he's going to come up. Billy, are you there?
Oh, there you
Billy?
go.
Billy, are you there? What's going on with our sound? Bear with us while
Billy,
we're trying to get some
Billy.
sound here. I don't hear from Billy.
He's just a still
What's
image
going
right
on?
now.
All we have, there's either songs coming from Gilbert, but I don't hear Billy McAllister necessarily.
Well, he's locked up in the Matlick mansion.
He is locked up. I don't know what's going on. Billy, are you there, buddy? There, we're gonna talk.
I'll tell you, you had the whole town scared to death. At ASU, they all held their breath.
He was a fighting man, sure enough.
Yep.
But then,
Bill got himself a wife.
oh, he lives a different life.
Sweet William now. Midnight feeding, changing diaper.
Feed the bottle.
Now it all comes sweet Papa Willie did. Stronger than Samson, now declared it.
Well, about his hair. No, we don't fight no more.
He's doing the dishes and changing diapers at fall.
Mopping up the floor. Yes, he did.
Yep. Big Bad Billy, Sweet William now. And this is Eddie Van Halen on clarinet for those of you who
Tribute to Eddie Van Halen. Well, it's It's too bad we couldn't get Billy here, but man, it's sure nice to sing about what's going on in Billy's life in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yep, Huxley will learn about this someday.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, I guess we're going to play that out.
Yeah.
Billy, we're sad we couldn't get you on the show this week, but we will try to do that again live next week. We did mention before the break that there are some trades going down. We don't know if it is an official fire sale. It looks like the Ravens went first, but what is bringing attention from around the league, it looks like Dalvin Cook has been traded. The 36-hour window is open.
Well, you knew this was coming. This is yearly event. However, I didn't think it was going to come quite this.
For me, it's a little bit early. We talked about he's got 544 points, a tiebreaker with teams that are now just two games ahead of him, 9 games to play. It seems premature to me, particularly for what he got out of it.
I'm not saying it's a bad move, because you get a second, you get a third. I mean,
There's a couple guys for this year that could potentially be keepers. I know there's Monter, but you got to feel like this is a move that might get countered, don't you think?
Yeah, because I think at this point there are certain teams like Joel, who's making this move, that are up toward the top, that are saying, "Hey, I'm a playoff team."
I mean, I think you have 8 teams that are thinking they're probably playoff teams,
and those people need running backs going into the playoffs.
I think it's just not that often that a top 5 running back becomes available in week 4 of the season. So I feel like the price is going to go up and up and up. I feel like there's a counter in the way because running backs are.
I think I agree. I think especially before the playoffs, like we just said, you got to get your hands on some touches.
He's a guaranteed 20 touches a game. He is getting a few targets out of the backfield. Dalvin Cook is a workhorse back, and he's going to be priced like an fiddle.
Yeah, I think that like you said earlier, though, I think this trade's going to get counted.
I think you see counters from
because
Coway, everybody wants it. Including me, everybody wants it. You want some? Are you ready to get out there and get Dalvin Cook? I think you are. So we'll see what happens over the next, what is it now? Probably 27 hours left on that trade window at time of filming. So
sounds about right.
We'll see what's going on there. Crazy week in the gym, man. You know what I mean? Of the Avengers, we were taking on the Zorros, one of the undefeated teams. Felt like it was a pretty good week coming into Sunday night. Had to go to work. Monitored a couple times. Kittle with 4, Kittle with 6, Kittle with 12, 13. Got a little bit of a rush, and the next thing you know, George Kittle scores 147 points.
So that's
43 points.
That's the first time that any fantasy player has scored over 145, to be honest. And George's going to put up 147. So I understand what you're saying. It's ridiculous to have.
It felt like 100 points, but it still came down.
Especially from the tight end position.
It was, I think, an 8-point stretch. Devontae Adams going down early Monday morning was what you felt like, okay, here we are.
Yeah, you should have felt great about that.
But 2 roster positions open. He's able to pick up the number 1 wide receiver, or have the number 1 wide receiver from the Patriots. Harry, who grabs a touchdown pass, and then you're down 19. But I've got one of my keepers, my longtime keeper, Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And you feel pretty good about what's going into that game.
I would think that even with that touchdown going into the game, you're thinking, like you just said, I have the biggest offensive weapon that Atlanta has
in the situation.
They're going to be throwing the ball. This is the game they're going to be throwing the ball.
And I need 19 points. He gets 10 going into the half. He's made some
great
catches.
first
He
half.
looks really, really good.
Great first half, but he didn't come out.
They go in for halftime, and I'm like,
yeah. And that is the truth, Tom. You do need some sympathy, because that was the game that I pretty much had marked for you as well, but disappointment.
Another game the Avengers lose on Monday night. Maybe I'm picking up the sin curse from last year, which is not a good thing. But a couple close losses. I have some hope. I'm not out of it, but again, the Zorro's undefeated. You really got to hand it to them. How'd you do this week, D?
We did okay, man. We actually put up a pretty solid number. It's the way that I like to put up the number, which is throughout the entire roster.
A little bit of balance.
Yeah, instead of having a 50 burger and a 40 burger and then nobody else scoring, I like the balance of having 30 from that 30 from your quarterback, that 18, 20, 27, 25, 15, just so that you know that every week you're not relying on one particular person.
Yep, OBJ comes up big finally for Merci Beaucoup. I mean, he has him right there on the name, so that was big.
Oh yeah.
Tom Brady on the bench with a nice number, but you didn't need it.
Well, thank God I didn't need it. You say I didn't need it, but I could have used it at the end of the day because.
The Cardinals sin come back and they.
Let's talk about that game. So in the Sin Titans game, the Sin ended up, which I didn't see this happening because Powey's been putting up decent numbers, but when you have Dak Prescott put up 51 points, and you can't escape a 50 burger. It's hard to.
Dak's a monster, and that 161 looked like it might get you the top spot, might get you the carry for the week. But here come the Cardinals sin with 162.
I've been in the running for a little while for the carrot week to week, but this was heartbreaking, man. And Corey, I would have to say,
you got him, man. You really got him. Yes, you did. Don't ever let it be that way. Well, congratulations to the Sin on getting the carrot, beating the Titans in the Pharaoh Bowl, if you will. We've called it a couple of different things. Who's Your Daddy
Bowl
knocks off Young Fuse 145-113.
Well, this again was what I think I even maybe referred to this last week in picking, that this was going to be a daddy whooping. This was going to be let me put you over my knee like back in the day and tell you how things are going to go.
And I think in the history of this matchup, we've seen a fair amount of daddy beating up.
I feel like every time we talk about this matchup, this is how we talk about it. Am I wrong?
No, it feels like that.
We need a historian to go through the paperwork.
And really, if you talk about every Young Fuse matchup this year, it feels like he's coming up on the short end of the stick.
Well, I mean, the short end of the stick this week, the short end of the stick this week was Gary.
He was the shorter end of the stick.
The shorter end.
But that still doesn't mean Young Fuse still down there.
It was a battle for it.
In the basement at 0-4.
And why would you think that is? Why was it a battle? You know, one thing I think we've learned about Young Fuse.
400 total points. There's just not much else you can say there.
Yeah, it might be trade 30 for Young Fuse because you're doing good, baby.
Man, we hate to do it to you, bud, but 120 points separate you from the 9th most points. So,
yeah.
Moving on to the last game of the week, Benner's Fury finally knocks off the newcomer, 143-110. I don't think Benner was any too sad to have handed Gary his first loss. It seems like over the one message you post a year.
No, but it is funny that Benner's total is 143, which would also be a code for like "I love you," which is what him and Gary kind of have their little personal
kind
thing.
of the Vegas.
Yeah, so it's a Vegas cheat code, so to speak. But
former Avenger Joe Mixon goes off for 45.
That was the winner for Benner.
Can't be happy for Gary when Calvin Ridley puts up the goose egg.
And that was the loser for Gary. I mean, you just said it. He's been getting production from Calvin Ridley all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't he play him? But
absolutely,
it just didn't go that way.
And the Packers going on bye next week. That's been the heart and soul, the Aaron connection that was gifted to him by Ari for sure.
Yeah, but Gary ended up with the lowest score.
Yep.
Of the week, which is the stick.
Yeah, so that is a penalty, a fine. So
Gary's crying.
Gary is crying about getting the stick, man.
Yep. This isn't the first time this week Gary's taken a stick.
He's taking a world tour, a United States tour of taking the stick from what we've heard, pictures we've seen from the road. There is some breaking news that maybe an arrest up in Cincinnati involving Chris Binter, I think, has been taken into custody. We'll see if we can get more information on that before.
We gotta be serious about this, you guys. This is not This is not okay. We're going to have fines levied if you can't stay out of jail cells. If you're a League of Gentlemen member, you need to stay in a League of Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Stay out of jail cells, Chris.
You gotta quit getting arrested, buddy. So, all right. Well, that's the week that was in the Logjam. Maybe we should jump forward to next week's game. See what's going on in the week coming up in the Logjam.
Yeah.
Daddy's going to the Zorros. D. Who do you like in that one?
I have to, because of my position, I have to cheer for Daddy here because I need the Zorros to lose. I just don't think that's going to happen, so I'm going to take the Zorros.
Yeah, I mean, as a league member, I think the entire league of this one has to root for the Daddies here. But I think Zorros, with a lot of firepower, remains to be seen who ends up adding Dalvin Cook to their team. But right now, I will also take the Zorros. Matchup number 2, I'll go first since it involves your mom's pimp going to the Cardinal Sin. Man, you're up there at 3-1. I've been taking the Sin. I think I like this Sin team more than a lot of Vegas experts do. I'm taking the Sin.
I am also going to take the Sin here.
Ooh.
I think this is a gimme game. The Sin's easily going to win this.
All right. Predicting that the Pimps will roll over and die. I don't necessarily believe that, but that takes us to the Furry going into Hillcrest to take on the Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to take Poway here.
You like Poway? They're sitting there tied. I have been picking Poway all year as the champion. They get knocked off last week. I think the Fury are the team to beat here on the road. I will take Pinter's Fury in this one. OBJYN at Avengers. It is obvious that OBJYN is going to win that one. I'm taking OBJ. Who do you like, T?
Well, I think, it depends on what happens here with Julio and with, Jones. There's some things. But being that OBJYN is a trading away player, I'm going to take the Avengers here.
I appreciate that. In the last one, 0-4 Young hosting the 3-1 Gares.
Well, I'll start this. This is like the leading point scorer against the couldn't buy a fucking point. So I mean, how do you not take Gary here, right? Well, I'll tell you why you don't take Gary here. Because this is a fucking upset. You take Young and Confused, their first win against the fucking Gare Bears. Write it down.
Write it down. All right, I thought I was going to take the surprise one here. I do think Young rebounds right here. I think the Gary's missing a huge portion of their firepower. I don't know how they can do it. I'm going to take Young and Confused as well.
I love that we both see that in the cards.
All right. All right, D, man, that was quite a show.
Yeah.
We hope that you guys join us maybe soon. We'll try to get a phone call in. Unfortunately, we didn't get that this week, but we're hoping to have some guests locked in for the next couple shows.
Yeah, the next couple shows should be good. Hey, remember to keep your lineups updated, keep your IR players out of there, and
yeah, be careful with those COVID spots, man. But pay attention to them, and obviously stay safe yourselves and your families. But hope that the NFL can keep the train on the tracks. You know what I mean? It's been a little scary.
Well, it looks like the NFL, or at least the website, has adjusted those games that are supposed to be on Tuesday now to affect this week.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's the only way that makes sense for sure. You are rolling the dice a little bit by playing players.
Oh, sure.
One positive test in Tennessee, and the Buffalo Bills don't play, which is a big deal for the Avengers. Big deal for a lot of teams. But as of right now, guys, thanks for tuning in. Good luck next week, huh? Thanks, brother.
Yes.